Okay, now we're going to do the same project, only differently. What I did on the back of this one, there's two recess holes. The outside recess hole is a 3-inch diameter. And from that 3-inch diameter, I turn this much of the bowl, which, yeah, that's all right. I turn this much of the bowl. This top is perfectly flat. And now I'm going to mount it on the off-center hole. How did I figure where to put the off-center hole? All right, I put it so it's touching the outside rim of the 3-inch hole. This is 2 1/8. This is 3, so it sets me off that far. It's deep enough that the chuck's going to mount flat on the bottom, so it's got a good grip. It's got about a 1/4 inch insert, so I know the chuck's going to hold it well. And now I can turn my bowl. But before that, I've got to come back out here and put my accent ring on the outside, and then we're going to turn the bowl and put my accent ring around it. So I'm going to put my chuck back on. As you can tell, each one of these is just getting a little more complicated as we go. The reason I started doing the ring bowls is, one, I had a lot of small wood from cut-offs from larger projects. 2, I got into wood burning and texturing and coloring and carving through color, and was just having a ball. So I wanted surfaces that I could do that on. On this particular bowl, let's see if I can find it. Here it is. Can we focus in on that one? Oh, perfect. The wood burning, shrink it down, and there's enough room to put it on the top of the bowl. And it takes it from a $20 bowl to about a $50 bowl. Now, the hours are nowhere near compensated for because of the delicateness of the burning, but I enjoy doing it. And I do the same with some of the jewelry. And the novelty of having a off-center bowl, people go, well, how did you do that? And one lady at a craft show, how many of you have done craft shows or demonstrations where people walk? Some of the dumbest questions. One gentleman came up, and I'll never forget it. He grabbed it and did the same thing that I saw done at you at the very beginning. I won't mention any names. He picked the tools up. Says, not very sharp. I'm like, okay. And about 3 minutes later, his wife came up and says, do you have any Band-Aids? He laid his thumb wide open and didn't even know it. So now I've got a big sign around my tools that says, please don't touch. The other one, where do you get your wood? And I go, trees, and they go, really? I had one lady came up and she says, well, you have so much fun doing that, how can you charge that much money? And I said, ma'am, the lathe cost me $3,000. Do I need to say anything else?
That's how I charge so little.
What?
That's how I charge so little.
Yes. Now, the painting on these I love because I can be as sloppy as I want. As you can tell, I'm really not too concerned about where it is and how much, because I'm going to take my tool, and I can't bring my tailstock up because of the loom. I think hopefully this mounted smoothly enough that I can just clean it up with a light cut. It didn't, so I'm going to have to take more off than I want. But just enough to get a nice clean edge. Nope, still didn't get it. High spot there. The rest of it looks good. Part of that chatter is when you put a adapter, every time you put an adapter on, the further from the headstock it gets, the more chatter available. Okay, that looks good. No problems there. There's a little mark there, but that'll sand off. So now I'm ready to come around to the front. The reason you want to make sure this is perfectly round, when I put my accent line on it, if it's not round, it'll show. because it's close enough to the edge that any variance will show up drastically. And that little tool. Okay, we're going to come up, same thing, high, sneak up on it, light touch, breathe, let it roll in. Nice, pretty even ring. Now we're going to remount on the second hole. I've got here down to 2 1/8. This only works for a project that's about 3 1/2 inches in diameter because of the proportions of the size of the holes and the offset. Turn your speed all the way to 0. Rotate it to make sure nothing's going to get hit. My rule is very simple. Nothing crosses the tool rest, because I'm not going to see that outside edge right there. So my hand stays on this side of the tool rest. I'm going to slide my box down a little bit. Now we've got to figure out where we want our hole. So you're going to get to decide again. Here's our low spot. So we'll start here. Can you see that on the camera? Yeah, just barely. Bigger or smaller?
Bigger. That's probably okay.
That's probably okay?
Probably less.
Okay, because of experience and background, I'm going to say a little bigger, and you'll see why in a minute. I want to put an accent ring around this bowl, and I want it to be about the same thickness as this accent ring. And if there's too much space in between them, it's really hard to get it. So we're going to start there, and we're going to do the exact same thing. Now, is this any harder bowl to make than the first one we did? No. Does it look harder? Sure it does. And going back to the silly questions you get at craft fair, somebody came up and picked up one of the off-center bowls and said, "How did you do that?" And I said, "It's really easy. I boiled it in hot water for 4 hours and then pushed and slid it over." No, she looked at me, she says, "I know you used a vise." You got me, ma'am. You know, that's the way it is. So you know, let them think what they want. Okay, I can see my line. Now, this is where I keep a hand on the lathe. I feel a little vibration. I'm not uncomfortable turning with it. A car at 55 will shimmy. At 60, it quits. A bowl like this, at 60, disappears. Hear it getting louder? You say, "Well, it's quieter now." Yeah, but you really want to take the chance. I don't, so I'm going to back off. And this is where light touch with the tool comes in. I'm going to turn it off. I'll make sure my tool's going to go through where I want it to go. I've got the rounded bevel tool. The center is right there, and I can get through that. I'm going to do it exactly like I did the first cut. I'm comfortable here. I'm going to get uncomfortable. I'm going to swing way out. And I want it deeper, so I'm going to make my curve a little slower. As I pull my handle, the wrist rolls over. And you just keep doing the same cut over and over and over again. The key is don't start that rotation until you've got a groove to hold it and support it in place. Just to see where I am. Well, that really didn't look bad. Looks like Sputnik. I said that in the kids' class one time. They didn't know what Sputnik was. And the slower it turns, the slower you want to move your tool. A little bump there, that way. Never say one more, we're going to do it again. One more is dangerous. Okay, I like the diameter. The bottom's a little flat, so we're going to take it just a little bit deeper and let the ring drop in further. So I'm going to start inside. I've already got the bevel there, so I'm just going to slide down until I start to see it. There's my cut. Slide on through. Got a little ridge right there. Get rid of it. I really think that's good. I'll take my pencil and mark where I want my line, because when it's spinning I can't tell what's where. Hopefully I can see that. Almost. Get a little knot there that's giving some discolor. There's your bowl. Looks difficult. Doing that bowl was no harder than the first one because it was a flat, smooth surface entry. But it really looks cool. And sitting on a table, people just shake their head.
And what do you do to reverse mount it to get rid of the two holes in the bottom?
Yeah. Well, okay. What I would do with this one, and I've done it with just a block of wood in here with a little bit of a recess in it, just to slide it in so it can't slip out. I don't like to do flush mounts where it's got room to slide if it starts to move, so I'll put a little recess. It may be off a 16th or 32nd, but I know it's not going to come out. Jam it up, put it in, go. Okay? Now, when it's fun to do that, how many of you do reciprocating carving? Reciprocator carver, or hand carving, cut through the black, and it makes beautiful patterns. Absolutely gorgeous. Alrighty. Let's see, what's next on the list?
What is the black paint?
The black paint is basics acrylics. I also use gesso. Yeah. The basic acrylic, you don't want to use a thin color because it'll soak into the wood, and then when you turn inside or turn around it, it's going to soak in enough you'll have stain streaks from it. So you want your gesso or you want a thick acrylic. I tried one with Indian ink and that didn't turn out too well. Just as bad.